Hi guys, wanted to give a few math tips here. We've been talking on a couple lessons here about multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000. And so I just wanted to go over a couple examples on that. Here's an example, 163 times 10. When you multiply by a power of 10, a power of 10 is a 10, 100, or 1,000, or 10,000 or 100,000 or a million, so you get the idea. So here we go to the right with the decimal place. We always know where the decimal place is, even if it's not there. It's like the assumed you in a sentence. Assumed you is the subject sometimes. Well, we have assumed decimal points as well. The assumed decimal point in 163 is right there after the 3, and so when we multiply, we go to the right. That means we're going to have to move the decimal to the right. That means we move the assumed decimal. We have to annex a 0. This would come out to be 1,630. We move the decimal point actually from here to there. 0.163 times 10. Okay, move the decimal place 1 to the right, and our answer would be 1.63. That's how you multiply by powers of 10. Obviously, if we multiplied 0.163 times 100, then it moved over 2 places. So you have to move the decimal point the same number of zeros that you have in the number you're multiplying by. For division, we move to the left. So 163 divided by 10, the decimal point is here, we move it to the left, and so we get 16.3. We moved it from behind the 3 to in front of the 3. 0.163 divided by 10, okay? So that means we got to go to the left, and to do that we have to put a filler in, and the 0 goes in there. So now we have 0.0163. I move the decimal point from right here over to here. So when we divide, we move the decimal point to the left when we're talking about powers of 10. All right, so that's multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. That should make life a little bit easier to be able to do that. Let's see. So then we want to get over to page number 293. Page 293, we're talking about division with a decimal divider. And one of the things that's involved with that process is rounding off. We want to divide out to a certain place and then be able to round back. And one example of that would be 3/8, the fraction 3/8. So let me say I'll give you the fraction 3/8. I'll tell you to divide that, and I want you to round off the divisor, the answer, to, or the quotient, I should say, to the nearest hundredth. So we divide 3/8. So that means 3/8 as a division problem is 8 into 3. Now the assumed decimal point is right after the 3, so we do our job of putting that straight up, and then we annex the zeros. Now since I said that we wanted to round to the nearest hundredth, the nearest hundredth would be 2 places. Our answer would have 2 decimal places if we round to the hundredths. But to be able to round to the nearest hundredth, I have to go 1 more so that I'm at this point, then I can round back. All right, so let's see what that is. Hopefully I can do this. 8 goes into a 30, let's say 3 times 8, that makes 24. This is a 6, we bring down that 0. 7 times 8 is 56. 4, bring down that last 0 here, and 8 goes into 45. Oh, this one just happens to end evenly. 5 times 8 is 40. So that's kind of nice, but some of these decimals could keep going out a lot further. Some of them are repeating and they never end. But we have 3.375, and we asked you to round it to the nearest hundredth. So what digit is in the hundredths place? That would be the 7. We put the arrow above. That's what we're rounding to. And then we underline the significant digit 5. And so that means we round up the 7 to an 8. So the answer would be 0.38. Okay, so we divided 8 into 3. We annexed our zeros. We went out 3 decimal places. And then we rounded to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 decimal places. Okay, so that's how we round to a nearest place. If you were going to round this to the nearest tenth, you would only have to divide it out to 2 places, right? Hope you, okay, you got that, good. Okay, so now one more example, because this is probably going to finish out our math next week, is doing division with a decimal divisor. The problem that we have, it's in the book on page 293 actually. So we have 0.27, and we divide that into 2.16. Okay, and so the way we do this, we've talked about how we don't like to have division by a decimal out here. We would always like that to be a whole number. And so what we need to do is we need to move the decimal place over. We've talked about this. So we move it here and then here so that we have a whole number. So now our whole number is 27 divided into. Now if we move the decimal place here, we have to move it over here as well, the same number of places. So now our number over here becomes 216, and our assumed decimal point is there now. Okay? Pretty simple. So now we have 27 into 216. Let's see. I'll just take a guess. Let's see. I can beat you at a game of dominoes. No, you can't. Okay, the answer just came to me. I think we'll try 8. 8 times 7 is 56. Carry that 5. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 5. Oh, I like this. Comes out nice and terminates. So 20.27 goes into 2.16 8 times. Okay. Now it could be that it doesn't end that quickly, and you might have to annex some more zeros. But when we start with a divisor out here that has a decimal place, we need to move the decimal point over till we get a whole number, and then we need to do the same thing over here. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, guys, I hope you do well on the quiz today, and have a great weekend. No, I believe there's no homework in math tonight, but anyway, check that out on the math assignment list there. Have a good weekend, guys. I appreciate your hard work. Thanks. Stop.